Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to go through the products. I'm using Concord and 9th Dahlia Turnabout stamps. I'm using the Chicken Duck Tiny gift box. I'm using the April Showers Spring Sprig and the Mushroom House. I'm also using the Leafy Backdrop die and a Sunshine Word from a Stampin' Up! Old Sense stamp set. And then the Hillside Inside Pop-Up, I can't even say it, Inside Hill Pop-Up from Lawn Fawn anyway, and the grass and the cloud add-ons that go with it. So that was very quick. So I've got some Balmy Blue Stampin' Up! Ink, and I decided to do my skies in this. I thought if you've got other dye inks other than Distress inks, I just want to show you that you can still use them to create these cool backgrounds. And you can use them to, I even add some water to it in a bit, just to give it some texture in the background. Obviously I'm using, in fact this is Nina 80-pound cardstock, but you could use a watercolor cardstock and you should get similar results. I just, you know me, I grab whatever's there. I just go for it. I decided on the Nina 80-pound because it's a thinner cardstock and there are a lot of layers on the outside and the inside of this card, so it lent itself to just keeping it a little lighter than it might have landed up being with a regular thick cardstock. But the actual inking part with a blending brush, which is actually a makeup brush for me, works beautifully. So for the what would be the grass bit, I also then matched up and used Old Olive. I've used some Old Olive for some of the grassy pieces, so I decided to color match it. If you don't have card that matches your inks, just find one that's similar. It'll be fine. Or the one that you use, say for this panel, when you go to ink the edges, use that same ink to ink the edges of your die cut pieces, just so that it sort of ties in together. It doesn't have to matchy all the time. So, but this I happen to have the ink, so I just went with it this way. And again, because I wanted the thinner cardstock, I needed to ink the whole thing rather than using a piece of Old Olive cardstock. So these are the pieces that are, and I've done 4, I've cut them twice. So I've got both these pieces. 2 are going to be for the inside pop-up, that sort of fit onto the hillside pop-up, and I will use those on the inside. But on the outside, if you layer them right, you can get it to just look like some hillsides. So you can use them in a couple of different ways. And then I used the same Old Olive to cut the tree part of the Leafy Backdrop. It's a die that comes within that set as well. So a bit of clean up, got to keep it clean. That sounded weird, sorry. Anyway, now I have my sun and my Sunshine Word, and the Sunshine Word is from Sunshine Sayings, I think. It's an old school Stampin' Up! From years ago, but I like the words. And again, I just matched the cardstock to the ink. So I have So Saffron and crushed curry. Couldn't think there for a second. And I'm going to ink just the top portion in So Saffron onto the word. And I do it a few times because I want there to be a little bit of contrast. If I'd done a darker ink, if I'd done the crushed curry over the top, perfect, you would have seen that contrast, but I just wanted it there as a subtle sort of background ink, if that made any sense. And then I'm doing the same with the my little sun. Again, that's in the Spring Showers die set from Lawn Fawn. I know the first bit was quite quick actually. Maybe I should slow those bits down for you guys so I can show you better. I'll just do them separately from the rest of it. Again, this is quite a long video. If you've seen the previous video, you know this is quite long. So I'm using a distress spray and I'm just spritzing over the top. I'm not going to use a towel to to take off the excess, because this isn't watercolor paper, so it's probably not going to lift anything off. But I do use a heat tool just to try and dry it off a little bit before I move on to the next stage. And it will still react, and it does react quite well, I think. So let's just see, can't remember. Oh yeah, so I've got a standard card base here, and this is just my normal thick, I think it's Craft UK cardstock. It's really good chunky cardstock, like right, nice cardstock. But this is also why I wanted a thinner for the other panels. So this is the inside hillside, I can't even say it. Hillside in, what is it called? The stitched hillside pop-up. There you go. And so there are a couple of pieces that you need to fold. All the score lines are there. Hopefully there's enough instruction in this. Kelly does a fantastic video on how this actually works, but hopefully you'll be able to see from here how this works. So you'll stand that sort of inch long piece in to your card, and then this front piece will sit, the little one that's going to be behind the bigger one, bigger hillside, sort of folds flush forward. You'll see in a second when I actually put this together, and get it stuck in there. I'm just getting some tape on there to start with. So this is on like the back or the bottom, I guess, of this hillside. So this piece is what will stick into the inside of the card. And then these two little tabs here are the only thing that are going to hold it to the rest of the card. That's the only place you put any adhesive. The rest of it folds into place and then you stick it. So hopefully you'll be able to see this in a second. So I'm going to get my backgrounds and prepped. So you want to do this before you put your hillside pop-up in, because otherwise you won't be able to do that. You'd have to work around it. And so I'm just putting my sky in and my grass. And now I'm going to stick this base piece, goes flat in there, so we'll stick that first. So this goes flush, and hopefully, I hope you can see enough of this, into the score, the fold line of the card. And then you're going to fold, that little piece gets folded forward on itself, and those two flapped right over. So I'll do it again in a second when I've got this. So you fold, that one goes forward, fold like so, over, and then give it a good rub, and there you have your hills. So this is the original die, so you could easily use this in green. Perfect. But I wanted to add these grassy bits to it just for some added fun. So I'm getting lots and lots of tape stuck to this, so bear with me. I think when I get into the zone with this, I just kind of go with it. And I forget that my camera's on sometimes. So I'm going to start with the back piece. I just figured that would be easier, especially with the pieces, the little bits sticking up. I guess you could do this before you even stick it into the card base, but that little open notch kind of slides over one of the pop-up parts, and then I'm just lining it up with the shape of the piece behind there, and it lines up perfectly. And then I'm going to do the same with the front piece. If I can get that piece of tape off, I'm going to just line it up with that shape, and that's it. Give it another squish, and there you have grassy hillsides. How cool is that? I love this. I forget I have, I don't forget I have it, but I forget to use it. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's such a cool thing. So I'm just deciding now where I want everything else to go. And this is the fun bit. This is where you start to play around. Before I carry on with the inside, I decided to sort out the outside of the card. Now, what Kelly often does is she will, she's one of the owners of Fawn, and what she often says is that she keeps the outside quite simple. So she'll do just a band, or she'll do maybe a wrap around the whole card to keep it closed, and that will be that initial like, oh okay, what's going on the inside, and then when you open it, of course, you've got all this lovely stuff on the inside. I wanted to do the whole thing, so I'm doing the outside and the inside. And so yes, it takes a long time. There's a lot of die cuts, there's a lot of pieces, which again I did off camera because time and all that, and it would be like watching paint dry if I had to sit there and let you watch me do that. But yeah, it's good fun. I had loads of fun with this, but yes, there's a couple of pieces you will see here in a second that when I go to this is where wet adhesive can work in your favor. I was thinking of time for you guys as well, so I thought this might be easier, and also my camera tends to overheat, so I try and do this in chunks as quickly as possible, not just so that it's easier for you guys to see, but also and quicker for you guys, but also if it overheats then I've got to wait and all that. But anyway, that's the drama for me. So you'll see here that I wet adhesive would have been better, and yeah, it basically stuck not where I wanted it, so whoops, I have a fun corner there. Totally tore it. Got it back on there and I made it work. And honestly, in the end, you cannot see that happened because I knew I had the extra grass that was going to go over the top. I had the leafy backdrop that was going to be the sort of main frame, I guess. You are not going to know that there is a boo-boo in that corner. So I think this is where a lot of people suddenly panic and then think, crud, I've got to start again. Don't think like that. There is always a way to make something work. Make it work for you, right? There's always a way to salvage stuff. So I'm lining up the bottom edge of the card, and then I will trim off that little edge of blue at the top there. It was just slightly longer than my card base, so I just trimmed it off. That's fine. And you see, you're not going to see that bottom piece at all. Not only because of the tree, but you're just not going to see it at all because of the where the grass is going to go. So I've got my I did some getting tape ready on it, so it would be a bit quicker for you guys. I got my clouds on the inside, and then I've got my hillside, so you can use them flat like that, and they look so cool, so great. So these are the only cloudy border. The one on the inside is the only cloudy border that I have. So I do find I use it quite a lot, but I still need to get some cloudy borders. That would be a good idea. So I'm using the part of the sentiment is going to come from the Dahlia Concord and Ninth turnabout stamp set. It's just because for some reason when you see what I'm putting on the inside, for some reason these words came to mind. And I'm sure that once you know what they are, you will be singing the song. And I just thought at this time where things are crud, things are really hard for people on many different levels. Some people are just tired of the whole COVID thing, but we have to be as safe as possible. So I just think this is a good time, and this has been an awful experience, but an experience that makes us sit back and think about how many people mean the world to us and how much sunshine they bring to our lives, and learning how to be grateful for those things and for those little things in our life that make life worth living. So you are my sunshine is what came to mind when I was doing this, so hence the sentiment for the card. I did stick it on skew on the, I did stamp it squonk on the front, but it's fine. What's life without whimsy? It's fine. And I'm gone back to the inside of the card now, and I'm going to add the word sunshine and my little sun on the inside and get that stuck flat, just flat. I didn't stick all the little rays of sunshine down. That was a lot of rays. I just left them, so there's a little bit of dimension from that point of view, but yeah. And then just gonna squash it. When in doubt, squash it. So the outside and the inside are basically done. Now I need to work on all the little bits that I'm going to put on there. So my main character is the tiny gift box chicken duck die. This is a die set from Lawn Fawn. Again, I'm obsessed with Lawn Fawn. I can't help it. Everything's so damn cute. And this will allow you, this die set will allow you to make a chick and a duck. Plus whatever your imagination can come up with. So this card has the chick, and if you stay tuned for the next video you will see the duck version of this. Yeah, I had to make both. I just couldn't. So I thought chicks and sunshine, I don't know why. Anyway, So I'm just popping all these little pieces. He comes with little feet, he comes with a little beak. The die actually cuts his beak out straight away, and the eyes. For the duck you actually have another separate piece that is the beak, but you'll see that coming up. And so I'm going to stick him flat into this part of the card, but I'm also, and I'm sorry I was off camera here, I'm also going to, I've stuck him where his eyes and his beak are, they're actually over the grassy bit, so that I can just stick them straight in. So I've actually got a backer to that. The other way around is to put a piece of washi tape at the back and then pop them in that way. It's kind of like an inlay technique, which I've done before on my channel as well. And then he also comes with these little cheeks, which I just got the cutest thing. Things like that just make such a difference to a card, I think, anyway. So just getting his little cheekaroos on, and then I knew he needed something, or she needed something to hold. So there is actually a little basket and a little umbrella in that die set. So I decided on the basket. I thought that was more spring-like than the and sort of went with the sentiment more than the little umbrella. So she's holding a little basket. It's got nothing in it, but it's like a handbag. You know, every girl needs a handbag. And then I have all the lots of little butterflies from the mushroom house border. No, mushroom house, that's what it's called. And in a variety of colors. And then I also have the same of the spring sprig flowers. I'm going to dot them all over the grass area just for some fun, and literally just popping them on there. It's like the easiest thing in the world to do. And then the bottom part of this card is where you can write your message. So this is the surprise on the inside, if you like, and then, you know, you've got space to write a nice message to someone. And then again, I'm just going to pop the extra butterflies on this card, on the front, sorry. And again, I'm just dotting the glue so that I can get the rest of the flowers put onto the front here. So this is after I have added some glossy accents and some Nouveau White Blizzard crystal drops onto the butterflies, and the glossy accents went onto the sunshine on the inside. And I also used a enamel shape in the shape of a heart from forever ago from Stampin' Up! That I still have some, and it's also in a yellow, which is the dot on the, no, what's it called, a tiddle on the on the eye. So we're going to have this shiny sunshine, and then we're going to have all these sparkly butterflies and this cute little chicken. I just love it. So it's quite a chunky card, we'll say, and obviously I couldn't close it because it was still, everything was still wet. But I just think it's so much fun. I just loved it. I thought it was so much fun. I was really chuffed with it. I love cards like this. I just think that for someone who gets that, they'll be like, holy hell. Well, you hope they will anyway. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it, guys, and I hope that you and just remember, you are my sunshine and you are somebody's sunshine, so don't forget that. Take care, guys. Bye.